There's so many different people that encompass Davis Square. I always tell people that you can sum up Davis Square by the coffee.
People love their coffee around here. In Davis Square, there's 3 coffee shops.
You've got the hipsters that are at Diesel, then you have like the old school that hang out at Dunkin' Donuts.
There's a Dunkin' Donuts, as I was saying, there's Dunkin' Donuts every block in Boston.
And then you have the hippies that hang out at the Someday.
Great coffee shop called the Someday Cafe, and they were sort of one of the pioneers of Davis Square. They came here before it was hip to be in Davis Square.
And then Starbucks is for the yuppies.
Somerville is just adjacent to Cambridge, which runs along the Charles River, just across from Boston. So, mileage-wise, we're probably about 4 miles from Boston, very close. On the subway, you can be there in 15 minutes. We're kind of the last suburb that would be considered living in the city. I think a lot of people in the mid-90s migrated to Somerville. It actually used to have the bad nickname of Slummerville for many years, but people don't call it that anymore. Just due to the mass migration of artists and musicians who moved here. So now Davis Square, which 10 years ago had almost no restaurants or nightclubs, now it's got a bunch of great restaurants. There's an Indian restaurant, which 10 years ago, if you said an Indian restaurant was going to move to Davis Square, that would have been unheard of.
I've had the store for 4 years. It's a consignment store with a little bit of vintage. This place was empty for a year before I scooped it up, which is unheard of. Like, you would never find it as a retail space around here empty for a year now.
This is a funny store. I don't know how this store survives. It's a sewing machine store. It's been here forever. It's great that it can still be here. The Burren right there is an Irish bar and restaurant that has traditional Irish music.
The Burren opening is actually what kind of started the whole Davis Square revitalization, because before that it was really rough. But I would say the Burren is kind of what started it, and then from there it just seems like restaurants started popping up all around.
It's a great ribs place, and it's been here for a long time. They have valet bike parking. I think the guys who run it are really into biking, and they also have bicycle delivery service. You can go order ribs and they'll deliver them on a bike with a specially made thing to keep the ribs warm. So we're standing outside of Magpie, which is a store that I run with 4 friends of mine. It's a craft store. We sell handmade goods with jewelry and t-shirts and journals and all kinds of things that are all handmade. We don't take anything that's been corporate made or mass produced. It's all handmade mostly by local artists, but we also are trying to reach out to people all around the country. We started a year ago in another location in Cambridge. We moved here in March because this is, Davis Square is a lot hipper and a better place for what we want to sell. It's the great thing about Davis Square. It is a very tight-knit community as far as the musicians and artists go. So when you walk around bound to run into people, it's great. You're always saying hi to someone on the street.